down and the music playing hella loud.
Welcome to Echoes and Aesthetics. I am your host, Ileana Villalpando, and I'm so excited to bring you guys something a little bit different that doesn't really have to do much with arts or music. Instead, we're going to launch into the fighting world, and I am excited to bring you none other than Alec Mcgee. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited to have you here. Let's just dive into the main and nitty gritty. What got you into boxing? Because boxing's crazy, like you hitting each other.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's crazy that after all this time, I've been fighting since I was 12 years old. I turned 30 just this last January.
You look so young, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's that all them years of boxing, all them years of sports, man. That's definitely, that's my secret. But man, yeah, I was sitting there watching boxing one day after all this time of boxing. And I was thinking, how crazy that we sit up there, we hit each other in the face, you know, for our own enjoyment, and mostly the enjoyment of other people. Like that.
Yeah.
That's some crazy stuff. But you know, it definitely doesn't stop me from doing it. I guess what got me into it, you know, coming up as a kid, you know, the typical, you know, fighter's background story. You know, I was bullied a lot. Yeah. You know, coming up as a kid, I was like the old school bully though. I was, you know, throwing in trash cans, you know, stuff like old school bully, real old school bully. You know, picked on, teased a lot.
That makes me sad.
No, it happens. It's part of life. You know what I mean? And, you know, both my parents were drug addicts, you know, really bad drug addicts. I spent some time in foster care. You know, my mother lost us to the state of Texas at one point. But that's definitely why I got in the gym. And that's why I stay in the gym, because I know what it feels like, you know, to be nothing, to feel like nothing, to be nobody. To be bullied, to be picked on, to be the smaller guy. And boxing is definitely my window and my outlet to show the world, you know, who I am and what I can be.
Yeah. Since we're talking about the whole bullying stuff, what do you feel like it can be something that can be remedied in the schools or just flat out by the government itself? If you could say, you know what, there needs to be change, there needs to be something there, like what would you like personally do to help the community out?
I think the best way to deal with anybody, I mean, I think bullying a lot comes from differences, you know, not knowing each other, not understanding. I think just opening, you know, a dialect, whether it's in school or out of school, or, you know, open a dialect and get on some kind of common ground, because a lot of people have commonalities. A lot of people have their own, you know, struggles and their trials and tribulations that are, you know, shaping them. Sometimes they don't know how to do that, man. So they lash out. You know, some bullies are going through some stuff, and you know, the victims are going through some stuff. But at the end of it, you know, we're all going through stuff in life, you know? So
that's actually one thing that I've always recognized, is that sometimes the reason that people bully other people is because somebody else is bullying them in their life, and it's the only outlet that they've learned. So whenever I see kids that are bullying other kids, I always ask, what is that other kid going through?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
What they're resorting to with someone else. But I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're alive. I'm glad that you're pushing through and you have done such amazing things. You look like such a happy person and such a happy soul. Yeah. I always say to people, I'm like, it's always the ones that take the worst beatings that are the happiest, you know? And up until 5 minutes ago, I found out you were an Aquarius, and I was like, that makes sense.
Team Aquarian.
Now, let me ask you, like, now I want to jump into the actual fighting world. Like, do fighters have, like, a specific style that they fight in? Because I know about music, I know about fashion. I don't really know about fighting. So is there a style to it?
I mean, there's all kinds of styles out there, you know.
Do you have a style?
I do. I do have a style. I'm more of a pick'em fighter. You know, I'm a boxer. I like to be on my toes. I like to, you know, pick my opponents apart. But I think my best style is not having a specific style. You know, I'm a very diverse individual, and I'm a very diverse fighter in the ring. I'm the fighter that I need to be in that moment or in that fight. You know, if my boxing's not working, then I'll come forward and I'll be that more, you know, typical Mexican aggressor, dig into the body fighter. If that's not working, I'll go to my boxing. If that's not working, I'll counter, you know. So I guess that's what kind of sets me apart from a lot of fighters, and then it puts me on the next level in terms of like skills, is because I'm willing to be the fighter that I need to be to get the job done.
Yeah. What would you say is the toughest part of being a boxer that people don't realize that's there?
Besides the dieting, of course. You're always dieting, you're always hungry, you're always starving, you're always having to have discipline.
But don't you have to have food in your system and you bring it to get the muscle? It's like they're starving you. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But please elaborate.
I mean, okay, so if you're in fight camp and you're close to making weight, you got to cut back significantly on the amount that you eat, the portion size that you eat, what you're intaking. A lot of it's just water most of the time. You're not getting much juice, or no candy, no snacks, try to cut back.
See, I'm already out.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So I mean, besides the physical and mentally demanding side of boxing, I think what people don't realize is boxing's a lonely sport.
Yeah.
It's really lonely, man. There's no team out there.
No, because you're taking all the hits.
Yeah, you're taking all the hits, but it's outside the ring too. The mental preparation leading up to fights.
Yes.
You're lonely. It's not often you got people calling you, hey, how you feeling? How's your mental health? Are you trained? Are you ready for this fight? Because at the end of the day, we're preparing every day. We're waking up every day knowing that there's a specific time and date that we're gonna have to fight somebody.
Yeah.
We got to, as a mental, we got to wake up every day and know that at this set day, at this set time, I'm gonna get in the ring and I'm gonna have to fight someone that wants to hurt me. Like it's that mental struggle and that mental challenge that makes boxing that much harder. That makes fighting that much harder.
I took a Kung Fu San Tzu class years ago, okay? And it's a crazy story, but like I'll try to make it short. But like I went into this one class and they taught us this 4-point technique, and we had to do it with all these people one by one, and they had to do it on me as well. And by the end of the thing that I was done, I was crying. I was like, I don't want to get hit no more. And I don't want to hit no one no more.
It's not for everybody.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
And I went in thinking, I'm prepared. I'm going to learn how to smack someone. And finally, I was just like, I can't do this. I am going to just be like, someone help me.
Yeah, just help me.
But I get it. I'm just like, wow, like it is crazy. Like I got to see you in a fight last year at the El Paso, at the Coliseum. And I was so impressed with all the fighters that were there. But you took some hits, and every time I was seeing, I was like, whoa, how do they do that?
Thanks.
So my other question to you is, do you remember your first fight? Like, you've gone through so many. Do you remember the first one?
Yeah. So I had so I'm on to my 15th as a pro. I've had 76 as an amateur. So I remember my first fight. I was 12 years old. I trained a total of about 2 months. 2 months total, only ever training before I had my first fight. But within that time, I tried to go to 3 different boxing events to where I would weigh in and there wouldn't be somebody there my weight that I was able to get matched up with. And at the time, I'm putting all this work into the gym, and I just wanted to get in there and fight and see if this was the sport for me already, see if this is who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And, I was getting discouraged every single time. My father and my coach, they seen that. So finally, we went to one weigh-ins, and this kid weighed in a little bit heavier than me. He weighed in, he had 15 fights. Now, in USA boxing, when you first turn amateur,
he had 15.
He had 15.
You had 1. This was your first.
It's my first. Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
At USA boxing, they try to prevent that. Like they have a big rule against when you first coming into the sport, you're not supposed to take on somebody with more than 5 fights. After 5, I think it's 5 or 10 fights, you become an open fighter, so you can fight somebody with 200, 300 fights, which I have done. But before that, you're not supposed to. But my first fight, I weighed in, I was ready to go, you know what I mean? I was ready to fight. And, my pops and my trainer, they believed in me, they said now or never. And so I went in there and I fought my little heart out, man. I must have threw like 200 punches around and, just coming forward and throwing. And I ended up losing that fight by decision. My very first fight, I lost as an amateur. And
how did that make you feel?
I was crying. I was crying my eyes out. I was so sad. I was so heartbroken. I felt like this was my outlet. This is my opportunity. And, I got in there and it wasn't a storybook ending for my first fight as an amateur. And at the time, so that was my world. That was like losing a world championship, as a pro.
But sometimes you got to lose in order to win,
That's exactly what it is. In my second fight, I came back and I fought somebody with 6 fights, and I stopped him in the second round. So, from that point on, I was absolutely hooked. I was always in the gym. A lot of fights.
Of all the fights that you've already been through, is there one in particular that you say this is the most memorable one, or this was the scariest one? Is there a particular one that you say, you know what, this one was different from everything else?
Yeah, you know, I can tell you back in 2013, it was my first year at men's national Golden Gloves. I had made it through the rankings of state Golden Gloves. I beat everybody in my weight class. No, first year is in men's division. So I had just turned 17 years old. I was fighting grown men at this point.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Grown men, yeah. I was beating 20, 28-year-olds, 27-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 21-year-olds. But I was completely devouring these people at state levels. Then I went to regional level and beat everybody in the region at that weight. And then I went to nationals. And I can say that whole national tournament of that year was probably the most memorable. Just being there with, you know, so many national champions representing, you know, at the time I lived in Nevada, the state of Nevada, represent Nevada, being part of that national team, and you know, the experience that gave me and the confidence that gave me.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that tournament as a fighter.
That's awesome. Now, another question that plagues me, because when I was at your event last year, there was one particular person that stood out, and I'm just like, I need to ask this question at some point if I ever get to interview a boxer.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in the ring and then all of a sudden somebody hits you and you're just like, I need to reevaluate how I'm doing this? Have you ever had that moment where like, I'm gonna change strategies right now because otherwise it's not gonna go the way that you thought it was?
I mean, there's been pro fights in the past that, you know, I start out a certain way, maybe a little bit slower pace, and then, or nervous. A lot of times I would start out like nervous, I'm a little anxious, you can kind of see it in my movement. And then sometimes all it takes is for me just to get that one big hit to hit a switch in me. So I
get that adrenaline.
Yeah, so I use that hit that you're talking about that brings fear. It actually, for me, brings confidence. It opens up a different side of me. And like, that's the hit that I need.
Interesting.
Like, that would be the hit that I need to get into the fight. That level of focus is just...
So when the day somebody hits you hard is like, you're like, reset.
Resets, yeah. Like those smiles are gone. This person you see here is not the same person. My mom likes to call it my transformation. My mom says I form as a completely different person when I'm up there. So
my goodness, it's crazy that you're saying you're a masochist. I think. Do you think so? You're a masochist. Now that you said that, is there a particular boxer, even if it's a legend, okay, that you would want to fight? You could say, I could take him on. Who would it be?
That I probably want to fight probably my boxing idol, which is Lomachenko. You know, yeah, he's an ex-world champion. Won the Olympics. I think he went like 315 amateur fights and never lost a fight.
Are you serious?
Yo, he's phenomenal, and you know, his angles and, you know, the way he trains and the way he works and the way he exercises his mind is next level. And I model a lot of my fighting after him.
Yeah.
But I think it would be awesome just to get in the ring, just to say that, hey, like, I was in there with Lomachenko, man. Like, him and I went blow for blow, you know, skill for skill. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we're here in El Paso, Texas. Growing up here in El Paso, is there any fighter here that influenced you or even inspired you?
You know, I want to say influence, inspired. I think all the fighters that go into the gym every day, there's like 6 or 7, you know, really good pro fighters. There's 3 or 4, you know, really good amateur fighters, like Kayla Gomez, for example. She's a 14-time national female champion. You know, I train with her. Jorge Tovar, I think he's 8-0 right now. I train with them. So I train with a bunch of just dogs, and I would say that's them going there every day and just being in there and training and knowing that they're chasing the same dream on a different path as me. Like that's just motivation enough, just them being in the gym and training, you know?
That's beautiful. Now, if you could have your dream fight, we'll call it the dream fight, what venue would it be? Because everyone has a venue they'd want to see.
It's gotta be in Vegas.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's gotta be in Vegas. Vegas, underneath the lights of the
Where
pyramid.
everyone's gonna come.
Yeah.
Like, what is that new dome called? That new one that's like that big ball.
Or where they like display the different like images and videos and stuff.
Yeah,
down
but
there.
it's like inside the big dome.
Yeah. I forget what it's called, but yeah, that would be.
Imagine being able to see the hits like right there. Like, would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
You should pitch that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It's not been done yet. Now, if El Paso were a boxing move, what would it be?
A boxing move?
Yeah.
It has to be something. El Paso is a strong community.
Yeah.
So I would say.
That's why I'm asking that question.
I would say a body shot.
A body shot.
Body shot. Yeah.
Can you show me what that looks like?
What a body shot looks
Yeah.
like? Oh, absolutely.
Actually, can we get one of the people here to come? Like, he's gonna be your test right here.
Are you already rocking with a body?
Yeah, you rock.
Come on, you go.
Do I move back?
I look fine, just right there.
I'm good here.
Yeah, we hit Rico with a nice body shot.
Okay. Don't hit him too hard, okay?
Nah.
We're recording.
It'll be alright. It'll be decent. Here, come right here. No,
Good over this
I want
way
this side.
for the camera.
I want this side
Right there.
There you go. I will in. So a good body shot. You want to have a lot of your weight on that front foot
Yeah.
because you want to be able to dig and twist off of it.
Okay.
And you just want to keep that back foot planted so that you can have a nice strong base, right? You don't want to leave both your feet because you're gonna take away from a lot of that power. So the body shot here, right there. Hey, how'd that feel, baby?
Oh, it's
That's so strong, baby. That's so strong.
Oh my God, you took that like a champ. You took that like a champ.
Attaboy. Love you, bro.
You should get some water for that. What is it?
He's about to shit his pants.
Oh my goodness.
You think them couches are great, huh?
Wow. I don't know where to go from that afterwards. Oh my Lord. So El Paso, we're strong. We are strong.
Yeah.
I jump into just a few random things with you that I'm just like, you know what? It's always good to ask these random questions. What is your walkout song and why do you choose it? And does it ever change or do you have the consistent walkout song? Because I always see people with their walkout songs and some of them are funny and some of them are serious. But why did you choose yours and what is it?
I haven't chose mine yet, and they're different every fight. Usually, it comes to me around the time of weigh-ins, which would be like a day before the fight.
Yeah.
It'd be just something that I'm feeling in that moment. You know what I mean? It'd be something that I can visualize. A walk to. A pump up. Something that's gonna pump me up and get me in that mindset to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't got it picked right now.
I was always curious because when people were coming out at the stage, I was like, that was an interesting song this person chose, you know? And I'm just like, why would they choose that?
No, I have at the time I was a story. Like if you would ask me after the fight why I chose that, like I would have a story leading up to it. I just don't have it right now because I haven't picked it yet.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to ask you next time I see you. Now, if you weren't a boxer, what sport or career would you currently be doing?
Honestly, I have a real passion for like marijuana growing dispensary type thing. I would love
the whole horticulture thing.
Yeah, the horticulture, absolutely. Like that you can create something from such a small seed and watch it grow into something huge and beautiful and that can be used for somebody or something.
Yeah. Oftentimes, I always hear people like the whole marijuana discussion. My kids always think, oh, this is bad. And they don't understand like it's used for medicinal purposes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It helps people with their stomachs, with their eyes, with, their hair, their, stomach eating issues.
Yeah.
It has so many levels. And personally myself, like, are you happy that it's been legalized now? Like, I personally am because, people could use it and it's so effective,
Yeah, absolutely. And then the government can tax it and we can make, a lot of money as a nation. And then, of course, it allows me an opportunity to do one of my dreams, which is open up a grow, like a marijuana grow business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe there's entrepreneurship coming in the works afterwards.
Yes.
At least we know kind of where you're gonna head to.
That's where I'm heading.
If you once that happens, what are you gonna name your company or your brand?
Probably something to do with the boxing. My nickname, my entourage, things like that. We're RTG. We're ready to go. So maybe RTG grow, ready to grow, or something around
I like
those
that.
lines. You know,
It's catchy though.
yeah,
It's
but,
really catchy.
But I want to be a marijuana farmer. That's what I want to be.
That's
Gonna be my job title.
Now, next question for you is actually, and that's one thing that I know that there's boxers out there that have a specific move, like when they punch someone a specific way, they have their move.
Yeah.
It has a name. Do you have one?
Like in terms of after I land, I guess you can say,
Or like
do land.
like when you punch someone or hit someone, is there a specific move and does it have a name to it?
No, I wouldn't say. I think my favorite punch is the one that lands clean. So I can use both my hands, and whichever one works is my favorite for that night. So
You're like, I got the job done.
yeah,
So
that's my favorite punch. Yeah, if I drop him with a right uppercut, that's my favorite punch. If it's a left hook, that's my favorite punch.
now I'm gonna ask a very interesting question.
Yeah.
Do you watch cartoons like Dragon Ball and all of that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, now good thing that you said yes, because I'm curious here. If you could fight any fictional character from Dragon Ball, who would it be and why?
Vegeta.
Vegeta. Oh my gosh.
Him and I are going rounds, man.
You're like, we're gonna go a few.
Yes, definitely. I'm collecting the Dragon Balls, man. I'm telling you, they're all mine.
You're like, I'm getting all mine.
Yes.
Now, I'm now that we're going to transition to what is called the future and legacy. This is our final portion of the interview. I want to jump more into what you want to plan for the future for yourself, for your life, for your family. What is next for you? Like, do you have any upcoming fights? Do you have any specific goals that you want to accomplish within the next year itself?
Yeah, my next fight coming up is February 15th. It's going to be at UTEP at the Don Haskins Event Center.
UTEP Don Haskins, and we'll have that on the screen.
Yeah, so the link, definitely, encourage everybody to get their tickets, come out, and, really see what boxing's about, whether it's your first time ever seeing an event or, you're a big boxing fan yourself. One thing's for sure is I can guarantee I'm going to put on a great show just like I always do.
Well, I enjoyed you the last time that I got to see you.
Thank
you.
you.
It was definitely an interesting fight.
Appreciate that.
I felt bad for the other dude, though.
He's like this the whole
Yeah.
time. Hey, taking all them shots.
I'm like, from the angle that I was sitting, I'm like, poor guy. I'm like, but he signed up for that.
Absolutely.
So no,
We got plays. We got A's. So,
exactly.
yeah. But in terms of future, like I mentioned, the marijuana growing, that's something that I have a passion for, that hopefully I can make the right connections and, get pointed in the right direction and kind of get the ball rolling on that. Other than that, I got a newborn on the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my lady, she's 4 months pregnant, so that's going to be my third. So I got a son, I got a daughter, and I'm pretty sure this one's going to be a boy.
You can feel it, can't you?
I can feel I called my last two, long before, and
Dads know.
Yeah, dads know.
It's crazy. Like, nobody knows this. Like, it wasn't until like scientifically proven, barely like a couple of years ago, that when a woman gets pregnant, the man feels it. No, you can feel her pregnancy too.
Nah.
You can, and I'm just like, interesting. But then again, you guys are attached biochemically, so of course you're gonna feel it.
Everyone's always like, how do you know? How do you know? I was like, I put them in there. I know what it is.
Now, what legacy are you looking to put in, not just in the boxing world, but for El Paso and for your family?
For El Paso, I'm just happy that boxing is back and it's bigger than ever. I think last year they had a total of, between 2 different promoters, they had a total of 4 or 5 fights. This year, projecting to have a total of another 4 or 5 professional fights. Boxing has a rich history of El Paso has a rich history of boxing, and I'm just fortunate enough to be part of that, and hopefully I can be part of that history and fight for a world title, whether it's going to be here in El Paso or Las Vegas, wherever it's at. El Paso is now my community, so they're going to be with me. Yeah. And in terms of the legacy I can leave for my family, I like to think of myself, and just because I'm regarded as that by so many of my family members, as just that one branch that is kind of different. That black sheep that is holding the family tree together. I love my family. I love the sacrifices that they've made for me. But I don't see myself having a strong family tree. You know what I mean? Coming from a rich family, coming from, you know, I guess the white collar type family.
Yeah.
But I'm looking to create that. I'm looking to create a strong family tree, you know, for my kids and my kids' kids, and
build a legacy.
exactly what you say. Yeah, build a legacy, start over. You know what I mean? Start over, but not forget, you know, how this tree got here. You know, not forget my father, my grandparents, my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
that saying, a rich family. I didn't come from a rich family, but a rich family will come from
It comes from me. Yeah, absolutely. That's what my mindset is.
Yeah. Now, if you could say any word of advice to anyone here in El Paso that is in the boxing world, what would you tell them?
I would say in the boxing world, and not just the boxing world, just in anything, is don't lose sight of your why. You know, find out what your why is, and don't let nobody take it from you. And anytime that you get down there, you know, you're feeling sad, you're not feeling motivated to go to the gym, you're not feeling motivated to go to work, and things are just heavy and hard, just like they get on everybody. Just remember your why, because without a why, you're not gonna have a reason to keep going. You're not. And it's gonna be so much easier to give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know you said that you have a fight coming up. Where can people find you, and where can they get tickets?
So if you guys add my Instagram, RTG_McGee, or my Facebook, Alec Mcgee, my link is, the link to tickets are right there in my bio, or you guys can send me an inbox directly and ask for that link.
Okay.
And I'll send you guys the link, and I'll be sure to push that up. Yeah, or Wing Kings, they're one of my sponsors just recently. Yeah, Wing Kings, one of my sponsors. They're talking about having the fights. They're at one of their locations.
Okay.
So if people can't make their event, you can still go to Wing Kings and watch boxing, you know, get some good food and stuff like that.
Beautiful. Well, it was an absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
And bringing your entourage as well.
Got to.
It was a blessing to have you here today, and I am looking forward to your fight.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you so
Thanks for having
much.
me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Thank you. Yeah, awesome.
Welcome to the Live Life Better Clinic. Our mission is to help you age gracefully, feel great, and love yourself. Meet Dr. Monica Denning, NP, an expert dedicated to your well-being. Our aesthetic services. Enhance your natural beauty and achieve your aesthetic goals at Live Life Better Clinic. We offer treatments tailored just for you. Medical weight loss. Achieve lasting success. Struggling to lose weight on your own? Explore our medically supervised weight loss programs for sustainable and effective results. Hormone replacement therapy. Restore balance. Renew vitality, alleviate the symptoms of perimenopause and andropause with our customized hormone replacement therapy solutions designed just for you. IV therapy. Revitalize and re-energize, boost your vitality with our nutrient-packed IV cocktails, expertly designed to refresh and recharge your body from the inside out. Relaxation and renewal. Personalized massage services. Experience the perfect balance of mind and body with our personalized massage services. Vitamin shots. Give your wellness a boost with our quick and effective vitamin shots. Visit us at www.livelifebetterclinic.com or call 915-545-1261 and discover how we can help you live life better every day.